perhaps prevent them from happening again. Cheers. And and we continue as usually. This it is a very arbitrary the time that it continues, but it is something. I don't know. I have to try and mix this up or do something about it. Brevity is really not my thing when it comes to this game. Apparently there's even a new theme tune here. But that actually should have took care of many things. There is one more thing to tend to now, very quickly, because this town is empty. Yes, it is. And this, although we have this town is not empty. This is the wrong town. This is actually an excellent place to, whilst we're here. Yes, you have 788 adult children. If we choose like one building from each side of town, there and over there, yes, that's how we do it. Relocating the adult children from there, and now then we go to the poor place of Kacincha, where the clothing quality has gotten so poor that it's just not. Here they have great clothing, very snappy dressers and so on, sharp dressers even. Sharp-dressed men, maybe. Sharp-dressed women. Sharp-dressed women. I don't know. Yes, sharp-dressed women, certainly. What the hell? Of course. This is a job. I think it's doing decently. It's not great, maybe. No, there is no food. And this is the knock-on effect, of course, is there is food here now, but the food train was stuck in that traffic. So if we would not have caught it at this very, very, nipped it in the bud, it would have escalated so damn quickly. And I wonder just how damn quickly it would have escalated. I mean, wait a minute here. God damn it, that might have actually ruined it. Doing an over... Let's see, wait a minute. A bit, I'll be right back. Right, so shall we have us a little look-see then on what would have happened if no intervention would have happened. This is what would have... yes, right, that's the one. Doesn't work. No, it's because you clicked the wrong thing. That's it. Yes, and these numbers that show up, they didn't show up in the preview, so I apologize for that. They aren't of much use, but the population statistics, yes, we can see it. It is so far. I mean, they're holding on somewhat. We can hear the game. The game is not feeling great at all. The food is more or less, and there the power went out too. Yes. From there, there's really only one way to go, I think. As now we're starting to drop population quite heavily here. We can see the cities. The cities for a bit as it goes by. Yes, whatever it was, less than a year is the answer of what it would take, and what we then end up with is this. 5,000 population is what we're down to now. This. and the sound is really strange for some reason. And I mean, the game is always running extremely sluggish, and I don't even know if it's possible to have it run good at this size. What sort of computer you need? What sort of system you need? That's a completely different discussion. Let's see how broken this is. But what is the most cost-effective means of running this game? One could ask. Everything is out of fuel, but everyone is dead. Yes. What were to happen if we took this, applied these little fixes? I believe that's basically the only thing that was done, and sending. Then get around to that, right? We need to get people into. I sent the food train off to Culture Capital, didn't I? But also need to. We also need to do something else. Yes, getting people into Katzincha, of course. Oh, yeah, okay, I still have to ask you to turn around. But, okay, it doesn't matter at this point because there is no electricity. So I don't think that they can fill up. No. We're screwed. It is what we are. And the game is running extremely laggy. Would it be as laggy if one reloaded from a point like this? It's maybe an interesting thing to ponder. I don't know. Yes, dead. I don't know. Yes, and of course, yes, it's a feature of the game to clear out memory registers and such. Is that why go back to the main menu when you can just let the operating system do the cleanup for you by just crashing when a quit is requested, right? Yeah, I think so. So, yes, come on then. Come on. Will this even make a difference? I don't know. But it doesn't really matter because there is only 5,000 people around, and there is no way that we're getting this back on track. There just isn't any way. And neither was the point. The point was to see how long we would have survived. We could actually have survived for a few years longer if the power plant. This is taking a hell of a long time. What the hell is going on? Anyway, yes, if we were to supply the town of Shotahiti with electricity from Ringhals power plant, they would have survived and prospered, I think, even for many years, because they have a lot of food in stock. Here. It is noticeably smoother now, yes. I'm supposed to have some effect on. In fact, well, since this worked, I didn't think it did, but since it did, here, the FPS monitor. Yes. Yes, it's for demonstration purposes only, and that's pardon me, very, very accurate, I would think. There we go. Yes. Maybe. I'm not 100% certain, but it would appear maybe that this is visible sometimes. But why is that? Don't trust this. But yes, no, it is actually not. It's 18, 15 FPS. Yes, trust me, that's good. That's a good number. This is smooth. 25 FPS, would you know? Okay. So let's compare then. Since this is that was just an experiment anyways. Yes, we really quit the menu is what we do. Or really quit the desktop if that's what you prefer. You can do that too. You know, that's fine. That's really supposed to be kattjävel, det passar inte just nu. Yes, colleague has joined. Colleague is a little bit intrusive. Yes, we're getting a bit distracted here. Is what we are. But anyway, here, yes, launch, play and save. Yes, there we go. I think, at least, I'm not sure about this, if you're seeing these numbers or not. Death. Yes. With the chimney, maybe. Yes. Now loading thing. Yes, that didn't work last time. Crap. That's how it is. We do it live. Calling me here. Which is, yes, that's also why we need the music, you know, to keep us a little bit of company and spirits in times like these. I was not supposed to load this game again. I don't know, I did. This is really smooth. This is actually not that bad. This one can live with. But now there is absolutely no. Well, absolutely, there is more or less no one around. Did any town make it, you know, particularly better than Shotahiti? Still has 2,756 people living there. And I wonder, should we get rid of this crap, maybe? Yes. Well, we can see we are, of course, limited a bit in CPU performance. Yes, but, you know, modern CPUs, yes, they go then to maybe 4 gigahertz. Yes, but does this game use the new constructions, sets and things to take advantage of that, or is it still just a matter of the raw clock speed, more or less? Yes, there are probably certain enhancements and things, but you know, nothing that blows your socks off. We're limited to one thread for calculating everything that's supposed to go on, and that's not happening. You know, that sort of thing. That answers the question. You cannot build an endless republic. because sooner or later you simply go into a state of too poor performance. Maybe I'd love to be proven wrong and see my world running at a smooth 30 plus FPS with only maybe even 60 with only every drops every now and then. That would be lovely, if possible, but I'm not sure whether it is. Here we go again. This thing. Not dead. What we do is we want a continuation. Yes. Let's get rid of these numbers or something here. As in order to do that, by the way, to find out what happened, I had to go into the backup of the save folder. The save folder that I forget if I showed or not. So let's make sure we show it. Where is it? No. It's supposed to be here. Yes, this is the one. Yes, you still haven't figured this out, really, have you? There you go. Yes, 207 gigabytes. Compressed size, yes, NTFS built-in file compression. Actual size 84.5 gigabytes. That's a lot. However, it took 3 hours, but it compressed down to about a handy, was it 12 gigabytes or something for safekeeping. I had to take stuff out of there. That was very quick, however. Yes, 500 megabytes per second. Yes, this is no slouch, my old rig. It is, but I'd really be really interested to see what something else would do with something as complex as this. I don't know where to go. There are so many directions to choose from. And then the problem is, yes, I can build the ultimate budget workers and resources simulator Soviet machine. Yes. Probably. The electricity, yes, everything is working, and this is how it's supposed to be, all is fine, except that we don't have any people in Kazinshad. Yes, I can build the most efficient works and resources machine. And I actually think that one can get that quite cheap, because you can go for the cheap CPUs with few cores. Yes, you need 2 for the game, but you want them running as quickly as possible. Yes. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, and so on, and some sort of motherboard. Yes, you can invest in a motherboard that costs like 5 times the CPU. The CPU is like $100 or cheaper. The motherboard is 500. Doesn't matter, or it does matter. It's an heavy investment, but you invest in that, and in about 8 years' time, you can buy a Xeon Gold CPU, which now retails for like $2,000 or something. It's like the recommended list price of what they call it. You can probably have that for what today is like $150 or something. Yes, and then you upgrade. Then you have a completely new computer. But in the meantime, I would only have a Soviet simulating machine, because quite many other workloads are benefited by multiple cores. After all. But this is a Soviet simulator. There is the central thing here. Yes, but for how long? This is... we need to stop this, the TBD. This is going nowhere. Well, it's going all sorts of places, but What's really happening? I sit around here talking for hours and hours on end, and develop and build more and more things. And here we have yet another ship that we can send here to pick up all the nuclear fuel that they have. Nothing. Yes, we need to tell you to go to there first, the docks, to take ownership. Yes, very good. Or something. Make sure that it's ours. Go there. Ship dock. No. You stop. This is still not quite working the way it's supposed to. Is it? Or does it have to arrive at the ship dock first? I don't know. What's this? Ship dock. Yes, that's the harbor. That's why it's not doing the thing I wanted to do. Never mind what was said before, but this is a good thing to do. Yes, you go and load up. But I don't want you going there. I want you parked up in here. Or docked in there. Yes. Go there. But first, go and have a load. Yes, this is really final release. The ships and the controls and everything. You know. Yes, sound really should get some love and attention. Yes, colleague, would you move over to your spot? Please. Yes. Over there. Yes. No, not good enough. I see. That's how it is. Excuse me. Pardon me. Yes, I don't know. I have experimented today here with what I got, and I got like a 2% improvement, I think, more or less. How's it running now? Now we should have the numbers up again, you know, with the actual thing running, when it's not an empty world. Yes. Probably says somewhere in there that you're not allowed to do this with the trial version or something. But I tried to purchase it, but you know, fill in click here doesn't have, and nothing happens. Yes, the price is, and it's blank. Yes, there's something wrong. I'm sorry. Can I tell you? And it might not even work. I'm not completely certain here. What's going on? 15, yes. Great. Should we do something terribly awful to it? As it shifts around where it puts the work for workers and resources, Soviet Republic. But if you want to yes, this is computer science lesson. Yes, this is computer science lesson. If we do, we can pin this process to, or set the processor affinity, or what you call it. Yes, maybe there. It is all provided that these numbers actually show up on the end result here. Yes, now core 1 and 2. Is 100% dedicated to this, and the tasks related to these two threads running this here Soviet simulator is not scheduled on other CPUs or other cores in the system, CPUs. Yes, that's really. Yes, and you see the GPU is running 40%. Hello, it is waiting for work. temperatures, you might think look high. That's because of special circumstances here. And what this is currently housed in. Yes. This is housed in a rack mount. A rack mount workstation. Yes. A rack mount workstation. And the thing is that no matter how much load I put on this CPU for any amount of time, the temperature wouldn't go above that, because the fans are now perhaps running at 10% capacity and are still already quite noticeable, but they have the capacity to be extremely loud and powerful. Yes. And the temperature will stay there. It's just set to throttle it there by the board management controller, which is proper. It isn't actually a server, it's actually a workstation, but it's a rack mount workstation. But so it sort of has a proper BMC, sort of. It doesn't have complete out of line, what you call it. The general term, not a brand specific one. I don't even know of a general term. Like HP calls it ILO, and Dell calls it iDRAC, and Intel maybe calls it something IPMI. That's some sort of more standardized thing, isn't it? Speculating here on things that I maybe know something about anyway. Yes, how can we apply this knowledge to the Soviet simulator? Not well, it would appear, because this is not working out at all. This is going terrible. Yes, this didn't really help to assign the processor affinity. Did it do anything? Yeah, that actually went a whole lot better now. Somehow it uses more than 2 threads, I don't know. Or it feels better about spreading it out, maybe. Yes, it can do more. Yeah, that's quite likely, it can do more efficient context switching somehow. Yes. Context switching is complicated things, these computing machines. Anyway, the thermals, yes, we could run them at 100% all day, all night, and temperature would stay about there, depending on whatever it's set to. I haven't touched it. It's the default. Yes. With the enterprise stuff, old but sturdy. Ridiculously sturdy. Yes. So I'm not sure how much would gain with one. Yes, okay. Say we invest in that. That's because you want the peak single thread performance. Basically, that's what you want. You need 2, 3, maybe, as it turns out, or something. Nevertheless, you don't need 12 cores, 24 threads, anything anywhere near to run this particular game, which is what I'm interested in right now. Yes. But with the core counts increase, the clock speed goes down, which is where everything must go eventually. But the Soviet simulator here is never going there. No. It was a great feat to break it up into 2 threads. But I don't know how you do a thing like this in a multi-thread. It must be possible. But it must also be quite complicated. And I think you'd have to do it from start. It's hard to tack on. You don't really tack on such a feature. Feature is also correct, but not in one sense of the word of feature. It's more like an inherent thing of the thing. I'm tangenting off here in I don't know what direction, but it's This is a better experience, at least. That's what we have now. I think. It is not great, but it is something. What do I mean? We still haven't gotten people for the place. No, it's about time we dealt with that, because there's 65,000. Okay, 3,000 adult children hiding around the land somewhere. Let's go and find them. Chemisterna, you still have this many people around. Okay, 600 of them are here. How's the stockpile of food out here? Six tons. Okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose we will take a few, if you don't mind. This is really important. Is what this is. It does not get more important than this. In fact, this is your own food supply, and your friends and perhaps family even. Who get to stay behind. Yes, they'll eat the food pretty shortly. In fact, that you'll be doing grating, yes, making, baking, however it is you do it. Shota Haiti ought to have a few. It's 800. There's one of these. One here in that end of town, and one here. Haven't I already done this? No. I'm not sure, but here we go. This is what we need. People, come on, get to work at the food factory. Immediately, please. I hope everything else is alright here. It ought to be. It might be a little bit cold for a little while. This might prove once and for all if it's even possible to move into a cold place in wintertime. Actually, it's not completely chilled out. Yes, many of these are no, but these are mine, and they are warm-ish too. Yes. Who knows how these things work? Yes, plenty of people here. Thank you. They died from bad clothing. They didn't die. They left. Is what they did. In only rags, of course. Okay, was that enough to get some action here at the food factory? Some. Yes. Food train is back. Food train is hungry. Need more people in here. But where do they live? Here, maybe. It would appear so. Yeah, no, you don't want to live at the hospital. You don't have to. It's fine. Okay, is that about enough, or do we have more? It's really low density residential town. This. So how many did we get? 2,800, about 2,700. Yes, okay. Yes, I hope this is enough. You're next going to Sarnakova. They have 92 tons. They are fine. They have 63 tons. They are also fine. Yes. What is it? Yes, you're welcome. Come here. Yes. I don't know what's up with her. Yes, come. Oh, never mind. That's about, does it for the cats. But don't be in the mood, then. Yes, you're very welcome if you want to, but no, I'm not getting up to let you outside right now. You have to. No. It's Jul. You stay inside. Here. But the first locomotive, should we... it only has 40 tons, so this will take some time to load up. Question is, will it have time to do so before Chemistena gets hungry? And will we need to intervene in its routes? Actually, its route should be changed ever so slightly. And this is looking good though. 100 workers. Very nice. And I mean, there could be more problems brewing here, but none more that I'm aware of. Yes, this ship was still not enough to empty out the harbor of nuclear fuel, was it? No, because we have probably it was. Yes, and even a bit out of this place. Very good. There should be like this one. Water, yes, recycle nuclear fuel for the harbor. You can maybe stop doing this. Or something. We need to park you somewhere. There should be road vehicle depots here. Yes. Were there more of you? Yes, there were more of you. You have... okay. No, we don't want this at the harbor, because now it is finally cleaned out of nuclear fuel. Do we need to move more people into Kazincha? No, we do not. It'll be fine. Yes. Anyone else who is low on population? No. Say we nipped that in the bud. Right. Well. It took less than a year for everything to come crumbling down to absolutely nothing. But I think that we fixed the train diesel station thing. That was an oversight in the design of it. Or complete, DAO. Yes, complete Homer Simpson moment. And somehow we have managed to produce a random set of vehicles here now. Which is not the point, really. Nevertheless, the tankers, yes, they should already have been transported here somewhere, haven't they? Somewhere. Like these. No, that's cement tankers that we built a whole lot of for some reason. No, then I suppose we haven't. No, we haven't. And we don't have a handy place to put them neither. I'm not dealing with these vehicles now. That's too boring. We can move in even more nuclear fuel to the harbor because we seem to have 500,000 tons, you say. 10 billion with the B, yes, you say. Yes, what should we call it? Drive or you know, I don't have a clear vision for this. For where I'm supposed to live. There are plenty of things one could choose from. It's just finding them. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a residential building. We make pretend most things here anyway. So, but there is always, if we look at some such thing as, for example, a car, not a DAP, yes, these are always so easy to find. City Hall, yes. And, you know, Palace of Soviet, that's a bit much. City Hall accounting, yes. Although this could be sending signals that I really feel no need to send. Now, this may not be where I live, but we can build it here, just on the top of the mountain there, or hill, or whatever it would be, for our neighbors to see and be impressed by. Yes, but that wasn't it. City Hall. Wasn't this the Palats de Republik? There used to be a Palats de Republik. I think this is the one, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's changed name for some reason. Yes, the palace. A palace. That doesn't sound bad. Maybe one should. Someone should. Yes, I don't know anything about doing mods. I can appreciate that it's a lot of hard work to get it good and to get it right. Yes, but you know, if one could build Ceausescu's insane Yes. Are you refueling? Apparently you went in there. Okay. Yes, it's called something. Okay, and your street access is there for some reason. Not quite sure of. And you have yes, you have some pedestrian access. Lovely. You can maybe do a little park up here and things of that nature, and maybe things of that nature. Haha. Very funny. Trees, yes. Bush. Yes, a few bushes. A few. Yes, a few. And then some poplars here on the hillside. How is the radiation doing? I'm getting slightly worried about this. Yes, it is now well beyond the point of the safety road, which was well within safety margins when it was. This has been changed, and I can't recall reading a changelog about it. But there used to be a hard limit. And now it seems to be expanding. But we'll have a tall tower and a palace of the palace of the Republic. Yes, and you do sane things now, right? Yes. Okay. Yes, that's the thing I've been thinking about. Let's give that a shot now. You know, friends, I gave it a shot trying to do a complex rail system deconstruction and how it worked and so on. Yes, I think I made a reference to it, and then it just after having explained how this is supposed to work, it jammed up. But it hasn't since. Knock on wood. And so I think it's pretty safe now. I mean, we can try. I can try. Let's see what we get. Yes. Something like this. Yes, we want perfect synchronization for this. The loud train did something. Thank you. Music, no music. I liked music. It Hello and welcome to a Workers and Resources Soviet Republic Railway thing deconstruction. I should try and deconstruct and explain what is supposed to be going on with this piece of our rail network that we have here. We have a few destinations for trains to go. We have a through route, you know, the line comes in here and it continues up this way. Out here there is also a great line and lots of things that we're not going to get into. No, we're focusing on this. Let it just be known that here is a line, here's a regular old three-way intersection. And this has a bit more going on though. We have a huge, large oil storage with loader. Yes, that's 2 tracks and two stops for trains to make. And we have a warehouse and another warehouse, which is an open storage. 4 places to go for trains and also a place for trains who are just passing through to do just that. And it's not, that's one thing, that they can come in from here, say, and go there. But then, maybe you want the train to be able to go that way, or you want the train to be able to flip around and go back the way it came. When setting up your routes and such, you shouldn't have to think about, is it possible for the train to get from place A to place B? No, that should your rail network take care of for you, if set up properly. Yes, I certainly want to talk on this subject because my railway never ever fails. Never ever fails. But if we start here, we actually have a little bit of traffic going by right now. So we are a little train heading in on this thing. This line. Yes, our train's right on the left. It doesn't matter. You can have them on the right if you prefer. We want to head to the large oil storage with loader, and then we want to continue our journey out of here. So we come to this, which is a change signal. In this case, both of these tracks are free, so that means it shows green. If one of them was occupied, it will show blue. If both were occupied, it will show red. If this was free, but both of these were occupied, it would still show blue, but only a train that is not wanting to go in here would pass. Yes. Change signals. Never mind that. We have a diamond here so trains can cross over, since this piece of the puzzle, trains has to be able to go to both ways. Yes, we jump over to the thing in the middle, the passing bit. This is straightforward and simple for the through traffic. They simply go through here. We don't need to think about them being able to turn around and make their way out again and stuff like that. So what we do is we have to get the colors back. Yes, thank you. In this block, all the magic takes place basically, because it allows you to get from here to any of these tracks, and it allows you again when you're on the way out. Yes, you have been here and unloaded a good amount of diesel into this place, for example, which is what we keep there. And say you came in on this track, and to be able to continue your journey on the railroad, you will have to cross over to that side, which you will be able to do in this block. And if anyone is in here, it will be red, and you will wait. And when something is approaching now, it will turn red. It may have been a little bit further away than expected. As there's a feature of the game that the sound of the wagons disappear after a bridge and such. Here it comes. There we go. It turned red. We wait. And there it is gone. We can go. And we're out. And if we wanted to continue our journey on here, we would have headed down here. Maybe waited at this signal. And this is something that is hard to explain. Maybe I think I got the concept sort of understandable, but under that maybe not to a point where I can quite explain it. But having on one side here we have regular semaphores. On the other side we have chain semaphores or chain signals and regular signals and chain signals. Because it was a circumstance that happened here that a train they got stuck here trying to have an intimate moment on the railroad, which is not what we want them to be doing here anyway. They can do that somewhere else. Yeah, and I think that was due to you know, two trains, one here, both wanting to enter the same place here. Yes, both somehow managing, as while, for example, the train from here is traversing between this chain signal into this junction and this signal which signifies or represents the beginning of this block. This one, previously when this was not a chain signal, would have shown green and allowed it to go in. And then it would have ended up right there, and that train was set on continuing, which it couldn't do because it was blocked. Yes, but having a chain signal here on one side of this, then if this is red, yes, if this is red, i.e. this block is occupied, that chain signal ought to show red as well there, which in turn ought to propagate to that one, so the train should not be let in. I would hope. Yes. And knock on wood, it has worked for whatever it is, 10, 12, 15 years or so since that was implemented with the chain signals bits. Is that all that we want to say about this? Yes, this is another topic. A topic for another day is how to build bridges. But that's something different. Here we have a steel train. Let's see what it does. Does it go through? No, it stopped. I probably tried and unload it. Yes, and this turn around, it wants to go out the other way. Meanwhile, another train of electrical components is making its way into this warehouse and keeping it topped off with that resource. Should we get into a situation where we want to do something of that sort? I think that should about cover the basics of it. You know, the point is to have two-way possible for trains to go both ways on these bits. Having a bit of piece here for trains to go through, having the ability to flip around, and one other very important thing, the most important thing of all in a setup like this, is that you have plenty of queuing space. Here we have an enormous amount of queuing space, which is great. Here we don't have that much queuing space. We can only queue like two, three trains, depending on length and how they end up and so on, before the queue would propagate onto this line, and that's not something that we'd like to avoid. And with current traffic levels on the railroad, that's completely fine. Okay, so that's it. If something was unclear, leave a question, and we shall try and expand on this. Or if it's going completely silly and stupid, leave a comment. Try and be nice. Try and leave a comment about that in a nice way or something. Yes. Thank you so very much for watching. Goodbye. Yeah, something like that. What do you think? Try and put that out as as a separate thing in a tutorial series, or should we call it a deconstruction series? I would find it hard to direct my focus towards complete beginners. There's so much of that stuff, and the game even provides its own tutorials nowadays. But building a bridge, that is an art form, and if you are what should we call it, used to other games and how they work. Let's see if we can find somewhere where there isn't lots of high voltage wires around. You'd probably do something like this. Yes. That doesn't look so great to me. That actually it isn't that bad. I think we have worse examples, but you can't really do nice bridges like that in Soviet Republic. No. In Soviet Republic, you have to do embankments first, and then build a bridge across that gap. I think you have built most of the bridges and everything that we could want and need here. And I've tried to demonstrate, but it always goes wrong when I try and demonstrate. It ends up looking completely messed up. Another thing that is I see often requested and pondered about, and people not being clear about, is workers, and that is a topic which is not non-complex. No, it is quite complex. And there are so many levels to it. To understanding how to keep the workers happy and to keep it flowing, to keep them flowing. Because it all depends on, but trying to show something off like this, isn't this a bit overwhelming for an beginner, intermediate beginner? Yes. Hello, welcome to the town of Chemistna. We are about 10,000 people here. There's lots of buildings that looks a bit out of place and intimidating at first, but they're actually quite nice when you get used to them. These are familiar though. Yes. But the principles remain the same, of course. Yes, so a worker's a day in a worker's life then. In this case, we have a worker who has ended up at the bus platform, Artemi. So Artemi lives in the home building of Chemistna Friendship House 3, which is not that one, but Chemistna Friendship House 3. As you see, this is already derailed. Anywho, we lost him. We take another example here. Right. Yes, welcome to basics in a work day in a worker's life in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. And how it can work, or how it might work. There are so many aspects to this, and I should try and keep this limited to the basics. There might be lots of unfamiliar building types around and all such, but it's all fine. It's this, but in a different form here. Yes, never mind that. We have a bus platform in the center of town basically, and this is a good way to do it. This is an enormous town, but you can start small. It applies there too, because you want an efficient way to transport your workers out of the town to your industry. In this case, we're feeding both a huge chemical industry here, huge chemical plant, which cannot even store or export chemicals, and a regular oil refinery with workers from here. Anyway, a day in a worker's life starts. I don't know if they sleep, I don't think they do, but they have a working shift. Like this person, Alexasha Timoshenko. Yes, 100% happiness, 100% food satiation, 46% health, which is most likely down to his alcohol habit of 100%, being 100% drunk, and watching television. Basically, that's where the culture comes from here, is that they get to watch television. When he exits his apartment building, his place of living, he will look for a place to work locally at first, within walking range of his place of living. And that's a topic completely in and of itself, because the radius that the worker can walk is depending on the surface of where they're supposed to walk. So streets with sidewalks and lights such as these here, that will boost a worker's walking range up to a maximum of like 450 meters or something like that, whatever that's supposed to mean. Whilst I think regular gravel footpaths that we have here are considered then regular walking speed distance thing, and then you get a penalty for if you have a gravel road, but you don't get a penalty for a gravel footpath, I don't think, but you get a severe penalty for a mud path, for example. Then they will walk much lower this, or look for stuff to do in a small range. Yes, first of all, they will look for stuff within walking distance. So, for example, the shopping center and the hospital and whatever else you might have, fire station in the center of town here. When all of those places are filled up, that's when workers will start showing up at your bus platform. And I really recommend building this one, the big stock bus platform. And if you place it right, if we look at this walkability thing, you can get pretty good coverage, with it. Yes. But in the beginning, you might not have this many people around, and for example, a facility such as a hospital, when you first build that would be set to maximum, what they call it, productivity. Yeah, meaning it will suck up to 50 educated people and 50 regularly educated people, 50 people with a degree and 50 without, which is probably much more than you need. Even here, you see, we have no patients waiting for treatment. We could limit this, but we're not going to. In the longer run, yes, if you have a famine, for example, having good capacity at the hospital will keep people alive and keep them around, especially longer. So you might have time to spot the famine and do something about it before your place gets completely deserted. So yes, adjusting the productivity of the local buildings is until you get workers to show up at the bus platform. That's one way of doing it. Remember to especially if you do it to the shop. Now this is a huge shopping center, but in a small town you would have a small shopping center, and that has like 25 worker capacity, I think. And if you're starting out with like 500-600 workers or something in a town, that's a significant amount that will go to keeping this place and there will only be a few shoppers at a time. The point is, remember to increase productivity with the rate that your town's growing. Otherwise, you will have a queue outside the shop. You won't see it unless you click the shop, though. But it will be a bad time. Yes. So we have the worker here. Can we find someone that we could have kept some? We did keep Alice Shasha here around. What are you doing? You're going to stop at Sirov bus station one way. That happens to be outside the huge chemical plant. I happen to know. You can have a look at your child here, by the way, and see how she's doing. She's only 29% drunk. That's decent for a 7-year-old, I suppose. And yeah, you're going to work at a huge chemical plant today, and we see the needs of the worker. Yes, the needs of the worker. Let's focus. We focus on workers now, and well, working shifts relate to these numbers in a significant fashion, but we keep that away for now. Yes. The worker works here for 8 hours, but apparently, and this is just based on rumor or hearsay on various forums relating to this game. There's nothing in here in the official documentation that I've been able to find, but the happier a worker is, the slower this clock will tick. I have not been able to verify this, but it is claimed so, and it might well be the case. And if you look at people walking about town, you can actually see that some are walking quicker than others, and I wonder if that is like reflecting their happiness in some way. Now there's quite a bit of people around here, so it's difficult to spot a big difference maybe. But anyway, that's the point. The point is that they walk at the different speeds. Yes, you're still working at that place. You see, when a citizen does a work shift, they get demands. Yes, that you need to satisfy. The primary ones being, of course, food. Without that, food, heat, electricity, shelter, yes. Without those things, you can forget about your work here. Food, very important. Electronics is very handy if you're at the point where you have a television station or a radio station. But the television station is a whole lot more efficient than the radio station. That can then bring culture to your citizens. Pardon me. Yes. Would you hurry up here, please? At the chemical plant. You're so happy that you're staying for a long time, it would seem. And there's another bit to this. Now, you did 1 hour 44 minutes of total commuting time to get to work. This is also hearsay. Supposedly, this is not hearsay. I have confirmed this. It's still hearsay, I suppose, but not for me, since I've been able to witness this with my own eyes. Yes, and proof is somewhere in the playlist of TBD2. Anyway, the longer travel time they have, the greater their food demand will get. So if you have a worker, the maximum travel time supposedly is 5 hours. There are ways to extend that. We skip that for now. But anyway, their food need will increase. Like this person who spent some time traveling, 3.75 kilograms of food, and you spent also some time traveling. So we'll see what your food demand will be. 7 kilograms, quite a lot. Also, you have a child, which might contribute. So you now need 7 kilograms of food, and you need to visit doctors for a doctor for 15 minutes. Don't feel like drinking today? You good? And here we can see this person, Adam Viktorovich, he's shopping at the shopping center. That's what he does in his free time. First thing, and then goes home, watches television, gets happy, gets culturally satisfied, and eventually will... Alexa here is... was watching television station. Now she's walking. He is walking to shopping center. That's how the workers do their day. And then we have getting workers to the bus stop. There's a different strategy for doing it as opposed to regulating the productivity of things here in town. Of course, the point of all of this is to be able to ship workers off to dirty places. Yes, don't want people living close to dirty places. That's no good. Unless you're playing with pollution turned off, but then no. Anyway, if you set a building, you have the option. Like this building, for example, is set to... Every worker is forced to start their work day by looking for work here. Yes. So everyone will go to this bus platform and wait for a bus. If no bus should pick them up within 1 hour, they, from this position, have a look according to the walking range and such. Is there a working place available? If no, then they go home and they are unemployed for that day. That's something about how workers sort of work. There's lots more to it, how to distribute them around and such, but that's maybe an introduction. It's a complex subject, and it doesn't get easier the more you comprehend about it. And thank you for watching. Bye. That's an attempt at that. I don't know. I suppose I'll cut them up and do something, you know. This is 48. We have there about 1:30 something. Work a tutorial. Is it really a tutorial though? It is more like random ramblings on the subject. And I don't know if it makes sense unless you already somewhat have something of a grasp of this. It is a difficult and complex subject, this game. Another thing to tackle is, of course, how industries connect together and the flow of resources between industries. And there are many, all the different resources, liquids, oil, petroleum-based things, aggregates, gravel, coal, iron, all the stuff is everything that goes by a factory connection. And factory connections are interesting because they can be had both for free and you have to pay for them by using forklifts. Then you can build more complicated stuff, more intricate stuff. But the forklifts are also a bit stupid, really. This area, they could not keep up with the output of these livestock farms. But 2 trucks can. So We have a few cows standing around out here in the cold. I don't have any meat. I think that's good. How's it going here? It's pretty good. Pretty good there too. Yeah. This is an example of bridge building, which is not perfect, but it certainly does the job. And it's a bit annoying that the railroad on bridges does not, or rather does get covered in snow. Yes, since this game focuses on realism, I suppose that the railroad should be cleared of snow whilst trains are traveling on them. I mean, trains sort of work like a snowplow, don't they? Sort of. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, please make the town names disappear with drawing distance. How hard can it be? Yes, we can turn it off. $1:30. Should we? Oh, goddammit, time is a lot. Yes, that running it into the ground that took a couple of hours, even if it was only condensed to 1 minute. Or some such. Yeah. I mean, there are no more great projects to make here. Or are there? We have built railroad, we have built everything here. Yes. Kalankadabad. Yeah, sure. Very good. So I suppose the next thing on the thing to do is to have yet another extended. See where it breaks the next time. This time it was in 2 places, and both might have been fixed. It is this one I'm not entirely sure about, but since we have one train fewer, the quantity of trains going in here has decreased. So only one train wants to go into each place, I think, right now. And that, if nothing else, should take care of the problem. And the reason Katinka died was due to bad clothing quality. That was because the train got stuck in here around. That should not happen again. There's an oversight here on the design of that thing. Yes. No, but it will find somewhere to break, of course. Yes, I hope I can find some way of benchmarking this with some different alternatives of computer hardware and see where we end up, if it's even worth pursuing. Because if you get like a 10% increase, then it's not really worth the work. This is the power plant. Where would be a good spot to be sitting? We wanted to do another extended simulation. I don't know. Around here. Did we not look at a rail crossing for once? Yes, we should. There's here, for example, is this was a problem area before. We can choose this spot. $65,000. How this year? Yes, we are climbing back up. Last year, yes, we have stabilized. Situation might be saved for now. Yes. And from about there, I think that we shall, well, I have already saved. I shall need to save again to get the camera angle the exact same, you know. Yes. Dear friends, thank you so very much for watching. Good night.